Nice day out today, isn't it? A good day to watch all my movie reviews. All of them. Go back through it as a playlist. It'd be a great day to watch every single one of my videos. All 1,900 of them, in fact. All of them.
I have to know everything. Why me? Why my daughter?
You don't know who you're dealing with.
What you're seeing isn't real!
Get back!
Hypnotics make everything that you see and do feel perfectly normal.
And today we have Hypnotic. So first of all, as always, it's a moot point now because I missed my super early window, but it's technically still before release day. So thank you to Regal, little applause. Thank you to Regal's Mystery Movie Mondays, little applause for early access to this. I'm starting to figure out the formula for movies they're going to show now. Usually between the rating of the film, the amount of time that the film, like how long the film is, and the biggest one, they now like to show films that are about 10 or 11 days out from release date. And I've been 2 for 2 so far. So I'm not going to lie. I love Robert Rodriguez. He's the director here, Robert Rodriguez. He's one of my guilty pleasure directors. Not to say that he makes like bad stuff that I'm like, oh, I shouldn't enjoy this. Quite the contrary. I'm a big fan of a lot of his body of work. From back in the day with such classics, if you've heard of like El Mariachi and stuff like as old as that. But for like, if you want to like fast forward a bit to like the year I was born, From Dusk Till Dawn. You can see it, right? From Dusk Till Dawn. One of my favorite guilty pleasure films. It's a wild ride. If you have not watched From Dusk Till Dawn, came out on my birth year, 1996. If you haven't seen this movie yet, and you don't mind blood, gore, crime, thriller with some grindhouse, and I love this movie. It's great. I can always watch it. Or, again, fast forward a bit more in the future, a little gem that nobody's heard about, The Faculty. Never heard about The Faculty? This is actually good. But who could forget? The big kahuna, the big one that like everybody from my generation knows. This man brought us Spy Kids. Say what you want about Spike. Spy Kids is great. And you know what? Maybe that is nostalgia talking. But my God, they left enough of a core memory inside my head where scenes have stuck with me. I watch clips from the movies and I don't care what the effects look like. I think the movies still looks like they hold up. To me, they hold up. It's great. So this man brought us all these things. He brought us Sin City. This man brought us Sin City. But I'm not gonna lie. I saw the trailer for Hypnotic and I wasn't excited. Like, Ben Affleck, sure, you have Ben Affleck as your star with Alicia Broga, or however you say her name, but she's in it too, and they're both doing great work with what they have. But the trailer gave you an interesting premise, but also made it look like a made-for-TV, crime thriller of sorts. I don't know. I caught a certain vibe from it, and that vibe was like, oh, this could be a movie you'd stream at home, but I'll watch it, but I wasn't crazy excited for it. So I already put it in the title of the video, but Hypnotic is basically a discount Shutter Island. You can pick up more on multiple viewings. Basically, I don't want to spoil the big plot twists. For respect to the director, he went out of his way to put a little disclaimer at the beginning to say, hey, you're seeing this early, there's a lot of twists and turns, don't spoil the movie. But here's the thing. I'm not going to spoil the film, but I will say this, and I think most of us in our group did, and I don't normally toot my own horn. I literally figured out the twist of this film in its first 30 seconds. I'm not kidding. I wish I was kidding. Not to disparage the quality of the film, I think Rodriguez showed his hand. By the beginning, he said, now, you don't want to spoil, there's big twists. Immediately, if you tell me there's a twist in your film, I'm on edge. I'm looking, I'm expecting the unexpected. Which meant that as soon as I saw the clues in the first act, and especially the first 30 seconds, I was like, that's it. Boom. And what do you know? It was. Hypnotic is not great, but it was really fun. It was a fun movie. I don't know if you'd call it dumb fun, but it was very melodramatic. Like the music, they took like a soap opera soundtrack and they would always play it whenever there were like twists or reveals or even just general background music. So the soundtrack was like, I don't want to say it was bad, but it was just like overly dramatic and just melodramatic, and just it gave that whole film that like vibe too. The acting is fine. Like the acting, they're good actors. The whole cast in this movie, they're all like good. They even brought in William Fichtner, who look, here's the thing. You see his face and you don't know the name, but you're like, where do I know this guy from? He's been in literally like over 100 different like films and cameos and little bits. My personal favorite.
You have any idea who you're stealing from? You and your friends are dead!
He's out, right?
I love that. Before he died, my best friend and I would quote it all the time. Just like, you and your friends are dead. But yeah, no complaints about the cast. I think the complaint is that like, there's a good premise here with the whole hypnotic premise and people that have these hypnotic like super abilities and whatnot. But the way that it's played is like normally Rodriguez can do like stylistic and stylized and wacky concepts and all that. And normally these things, when he executes them in his style, they normally work pretty well. There were bits that were just kind of like overly dramatic or a little bit ridiculous, and they were just played super seriously in this movie. And everybody's taking it seriously, but between like some of the lines and between what characters did on screen, how they interacted with each other, just how I don't know. It's hard to put into words. It felt like I was watching like a soap opera meets a like crime thriller, like some basic like NBC, CBS, ABC, like, you know, oh yeah, late night 8 o'clock special of the Hawaii 5-0 CSI crossover, and like combine that with like, and now our main characters have hypnotic abilities. Like, I don't know. It was just a tad bit schlocky, but I mean, I didn't hate it. Like, I don't know what else to say. I can just kind of be vague about it. You don't have to see this one in theaters. You can go ahead and skip it. For a mystery film that was, you know, free for me, but $5 for other people, like $5 for this, sure, that's fine. And I don't want to shit on it either. Like, you definitely stream it. Stream it with friends for sure. Like I said, we had a good time. We laughed, we cringed here and there, we mostly laughed, but it wasn't like dog shit. It wasn't a bad film. It just wasn't a particularly good one, but it was all played in such a way where there's so much content for like memes and jokes and just make fun of just every time that things got serious or like hypnotic, you know, just a close-up of Ben Affleck's face, and his jaw just gets more chiseled and blockier somehow, and just there's a bit where it's like trying to control his mind and he's just like and just like literally shaking his head. There were just a bunch of really funny moments of like trying to resist the hypnotic temptation and then slowly walking back into frame with a knife, and then characters that are running away from somebody, but the way he's running is just a very brisk little saunter over here. The effects were fine. The action was fine. I don't know. It wasn't anything to write home about. I didn't love it. It's not going to make my top 10. I'm a little bit disappointed because I really enjoy Robert Rodriguez's body of work. For the most part, I either really like or I love his films. Whether they all stand the test of time or not remains to be seen. I think if he sticks to stuff that like is stylized, doesn't take itself too seriously, but just seriously enough, and is self-aware, like knows what it is, I think that's when he excels the most. Because this film, like, it doesn't take itself too seriously and it works really well. Spy Kids, there's like, you know, dramatic moments, but they don't take themselves too seriously. Granted, some of his older work, like, you know, El Mariachi, Desperado, they take themselves a bit more seriously, but they somehow work. Hard to say exactly how the Rodriguez formula works. But the thing is, I like him. I like what he does. Yeah, but this for me was a misfire. You can still have fun with it, but it's not great. Like, it's just kind of like, eh. As one of my friends put it, it's a pretty mid film, but it's a fun mid film. That's all I gotta say about Hypnotic. A very vague review at the behest and respect of the director. I shan't spoil it, but honestly, you're not missing a whole lot of like crazy stuff. So I would give Hypnotic, if I were to be fair, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Let's give it a 3 out of 5. It is average. It's mid. It's average. It's not below average. It's certainly not above average. But There's good concepts. The Hypnotic concept is neat. There's a cool angle with, his daughter missing and trying to solve it as like a police detective and all this, and the mysterious stranger, and a bunch of really cool pieces, but just it's all played in a very melodramatic sense. It's all just taken like too seriously and just doesn't quite work the way that I think the director intended, but it is what it is, and it could have been worse. That's all I gotta say about Hypnotic. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of whatever movie I review. And goodbye, travelers.